everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Celestial Estelle, and today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading for what your future self wants you to know. So everybody has been reflecting a lot over the past, I want to say 3 years since COVID has happened, and there's a lot of things that we learn and a lot of things that get buried underneath. And so I'm going to be highlighting and picking up and channeling your future self to see how things have changed for you, and just to see what your future self, the state that you're in the future, and some guidance and advice that your future self wants to give to you now. So this is a pick a card reading, and I have 3 piles. In my first pile, I have this black Obsidian tumblestone. In my second pile, I have this slab of Malachite. Hopefully you guys can see that. If you can't, I'm so sorry. And last but not least, in my third pile, I have this rainbow moonstone tumblestone. So those are the 3 piles that I have for you guys right now. You can pause the video and meditate on which pile resonates or you're drawn to the most. And I will put the timestamps in the link description box below and in the comment section. And I will see you in your reading, okay? Welcome back, pile 1. If you chose the black Obsidian tumblestone, this is your reading, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and flip over your oracle card. And we got, this is a good one, Merciful Mother Yamal, which is number 44. Okay. So I'm already picking up that your future self wants you to know that it worked out. And actually, while I was shuffling the oracle deck, I got an intuitive message, and it was something along the lines of lost within one's heart. And I'm picking up here for pile 1 that you are definitely somebody that is a daydreamer, and your future self wants to thank you for planning and thinking things through this time. And that's not to shame you, and that's not to say that the way that you go about living your life with your head in the clouds is wrong or it's bad, because it's not. But there's a lot of things that you've wanted in your life that you sometimes got, I want to say, you got caught up on the forest and you weren't necessarily focused on the trees, on the details. And your future self really wants to thank you and let you know that it worked out and that it's all going to be fine. Your future self also wants you to know that your relationships have healed, and the relationships that you have, especially with your mother, are going to they've drastically changed. And if this is not a mother figure, or this is not your mother, then it's a mother figure or someone who's motherly towards you that has kind of done the work that you've always wanted them to do. And now your relationship isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than where it's been. And I'm also picking up from your future self, they want you to know that if you've been, this is a trigger warning for some people, if you were unfortunately sexually assaulted in the past, or have experienced sexual abuse in the past, and it's led to re-victimization in the most recent years, your future self wants you to know that you need to stop beating yourself up for that, because it's not your fault. And you might say, I should have known better, or I was so stupid. But there was nothing that you could have done to stop somebody from sexually assaulting you, to stop somebody from harming you if they wanted to harm you. And your future self wants you to know that you will be able to build a healthy relationship with your sexual body and with your sexuality after the storm. Your future self wants you to know that it's okay to be gentle with yourself, and it's okay to slow down, and actually that there's a lot of beauty in slowing things down for you. Your future self wants you to know there's something here with your femininity and the way that you express your femininity is completely changed. I'm picking up that with this pile, you're a little bit more eclectic. You might have been very tame, and you've most likely wanted to hide yourself, and I think that's maybe like lost within your heart, and that might have been something where inside your heart for you, pile 1, is everything that you've always wanted. In reality is everything that you can't handle. And your future self wants you to know that because you decided to step out into the world, that you decided to step out and be brave and be courageous, and that you worked up to this point, that it paid off, and that your heart is being reflected in your environment, and now it's being reflected in reality. Your future self also wants you to know that you need to be drinking more water and eating more vegetables. Some of you guys here need to go to a neurologist. Your future self also wants you to know that the sadness is not forever. Because for this pile, there's a deep, deep sadness that I'm picking up for this pile. And you're thinking to yourself that this is something that's not necessarily the sadness, but these symptoms are going to last forever, and that these are things that are going to be something that's always going to be interfering with your life. And your future self wants you to know that's not the case, because you're going to have a huge social support. You're going to have a social support network of people that you can really, really rely on, and you're going to find your tribe here, pile 1. Pile 1, your future self wants to let you know that you need to let this purge happen. And that if you're coming out of a dark night of the soul, or you're entering the dark night of the soul, where you're very focused on your survival, your future self wants you to know that you've been fighting this for so long that you have to let it happen, and that you have to not actually stumble upon, you have to go out and work and find a new way to live your life here. Some of you guys might be living with depression, or you might be bipolar here. Your future self wants you to know that the battle is not finished, the battle is not over, but the battle has gotten easier. Know that the war, I'm sorry, pile 1. Your future self wants you to know that the war is far from finished, but you've won many battles, and you will win this one, is what your future self wants you to know. Your future self really wants to thank you. I'm going to read the card here from the Oracle book. Give me 1 second here, guys. So this is card 44. Sorry for the loudness outside. Excuse me, it's pouring out. It says, this oracle brings you a message. There is a shift taking place now in a matter of great importance to you. From justice to mercy, this is your path, your destiny, and your blessing, now opening up before you. It may not be a particular matter. However, it likely includes your entire life orientation. You are being granted refuge, respite, and shelter from the storms of struggle and doubt, and being given a divine sanctuary of safe harbor. You shall find that unraveling of the struggle and pain happens through tenderness, a gentler approach. Like I said, this war, some of you guys have been really pushing and fighting through life, And your future self wants to let you know that that's not actually how you need to live through this chapter of your life. That, like I said, you need to be gentler. I'll keep reading here. It says, you are also being asked to take stock of your own thoughts and attitudes. Having to be tough, like I said, having to be tough and play hardball in the past has served its purpose. I'm picking up for this pile that vulnerability will take you places that resiliency can't. For pile 1. Vulnerability will take you places that resiliency can't. Some of you guys need to open up more. And your future self wants you to know that your ability to trust other people and open up and be vulnerable will pay off. It's not a weakness, okay, pile 1? It says, can you gently but firmly place to one side the judge within, the one who keeps score and demands retribution, an eye for an eye, the exponent of absolute justice? Can you invite instead the one who gentles the aggressive lord within and allows him to bow before the great lady who loves? Some of you guys that have been, I'm going to finish, I'm going to stop there. But what I want to say is that also with this pile, your future self wants to know that the self-criticism that you deal with is going to get better. Your future self wants you to know that now is the time for you to be practicing affirmations in the mirror and really be journaling to that critical part of your mind that is always commenting on each and every part of your day here. Okay? So that was the Oracle card. I'm going to go ahead and pull some messages here. Or I'm going to pull some tarot cards here, pile 1. So we can see what else your future self wants you to know, okay? This is for pile 1, their future self. Spirit, give me some, what's going on in their love, their finances. Hearing success, or you got the job here. Some of you guys have placed an application for something. Your future self wants you to know that you are approved. We got the Hermit. The Nine of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. What did I say about the hardworking? The Sun card. 3 of Pentacles. And 8 of Swords here. So what I want to ask you, or what your future self wants to ask you rather, is what are some messages that you've been told about work that maybe had applied to your mother or to a friend and now you think it applies to you? What are some messages that you learned in high school about labor and about this dog-eat-dog world and just about the real world in general? Some of you guys have really internalized those messages, and you think that because it worked for somebody else, it worked for you. A lot of you guys need to step away from your doing mind and step into your being mind here, okay? With the Hermit card, a lot of you guys are currently in isolation and you might be fighting that isolation, but your future self wants you to know that you need to stay in this isolation, because this isolation, it's not even necessarily an isolation, it's a learning moment. It's like you're experiencing growing pains. And instead of you trying to distract yourself from experiencing these growing pains, from going out and partying or smoking weed or drinking and hanging out with friends, just distractions after distractions after distractions, your future self actually wants you to take this time to step into yourself here and gain some type of stability here, because things are changing for you and things are changing fast for you. And your future self really wants you to be ready for that change. Your future self I'm hearing don't pick me apart. So some of you guys are really, I think your future self wants to know that if these blessings, or not if, because these blessings are coming in and these changes are happening, but your future self wants you to know that when they do come, please don't pick them apart. Please don't be hypercritical. Some of you guys might be a Virgo here with the Hermit. Some of you guys might be a Virgo here or have strong Capricorn energy here. Some of you guys also might be a Leo. Please don't pick it apart, and please don't look at the negative in everything, because like I say in all my readings, when you look at the blessings and the offerings that Spirit and the universe gifts us every day, and we only see the negative, that pushes our blessings further and further away from us here, okay? With the Sun card, there's going to be a huge boost of confidence and a huge boost to your ego is what your future self is saying. And right now, you guys need to act like the woman or act like the man that you've always wanted to be, because that's just truly who you are. And your future self is saying that the more that you spend your time running from yourself, the faster you're going to run into yourself. I know that doesn't make sense to some people, but the more you spend running away from yourself and running away from who you are, the faster you're going to realize that you just ran into yourself. Okay? Like, because that's all that's going to be left is just you. So with this newfound confidence, some of you guys are going to have glowing skin here I'm picking up. Some of your guys' skin is really going to be glowing. Sorry, my camera is... If you've been following me from day one, you already know about my camera and how it gets down. But and your future self wants you to know that a lot of this self-deception and a lot of this self-doubt, like we read in the Oracle card, is not going to change unless you want it to. There's no magic fix, and there's no magic wand that you can pull, you know, out of the sky that's going to change yourself. You're going to have to want to change. And a lot of you guys have been pulling the wool over your eyes on something, and your future self isn't really sure why, because the only thing that your future self wants to do is be closer to you here. I'm going to pull some more cards here for pile 1. Messages from their future self here. Six of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles again, and the Hangman. The thing is that some of you guys are trying, and some of you guys are really trying to build a solid foundation for yourself. And like I was saying, that your higher self is really going to be happy that you've been doing this work right in the here and now, instead of daydreaming and dissociating and just kind of creating this own little world for yourself. And it's not that that world isn't real, because that world is on its way. We have the King of Bows, but we have the Stag, but your higher self is just happy that you took action. And 8 of Vessels. Some of you guys really, your future self wants you to know to go back to therapy here. Pile 1. A lot of you guys need to go back to therapy here, or you guys need to find a therapist, because your future self is in therapy, and your future self has really learned a lot from therapy, and your future self, emotionally, mentally, and physically, you're at your peak with the energy that I'm tapping into. And even though you're at your peak, your future self still is swearing by their therapist and still goes to their therapy sessions weekly, and they're really grateful for their therapist. So you need to get back to therapy here, pile 1. Some of you guys need to take some more action in eliminating people from your life. And some of you guys with the Hangman in here need to take a step back and look at and see people for who they really are here. Because the crowd that you have around you right now, I'm not going to say it's completely changed, or your future self's crowd, I'm not going to say it's completely different, but there's a lot of people that are in your life right now that are missing from your future self's life. And I'm pretty sure that this is due to an elimination that had occurred. I'm going to pull some more oracle cards, and I'm going to pull some question cards here. It's for pile 1's, from pile 1's future self, messages, predictions, blessings, etc. This is what they want pile 1 to know. Oh, your future self wants you to know that they really love you and that you've worked really hard for this, and to really stop beating yourself up. There's a really strong critical part here that is just raging inside of you. We have Neptune, Mars, take action, y'all. And in the 8th house, some of you guys here, I'm picking up that you need to, like I said, you're in the dark night of the soul. And so some of you guys really need to take a step back and look at yourself differently. And look at your daydreams and look at your dreams. Your dreams are very symbolic. Some of you guys are, some of you guys just have just wild dreams. Some of you guys have like 3 or 4 dreams that you remember in one night. Some of you guys need to keep a dream journal here. Well, why are these cards there? That's strange. Sorry about that. I'm going to pull some love activation cards. In the 8th house, there's a fear of intimacy, like I said, with the trust earlier, that has been overcome in the near future. And some of you guys have probably been not necessarily huge procrastinators, but you're one of those people that when you get a thought, you get so many different thoughts, and you get so many different ideas that you don't act on all of them. And your future self wants you to know that you need to start acting a lot more on your ideas. We have willingness. You are able to compromise in the end result of love. Some of you guys are really sacrificing something. Sorry. It's getting kind of hot in my room. Yeah, some of you guys are really sacrificing something, and you're willing to sacrifice it not necessarily for goals, but for happiness and inner peace is what I'm picking up here. We have expression. Some of you guys are learning to express yourself in other ways. I'm picking up learning to express your anger in different ways, and learning to express how you feel, and learning how to feel different emotions in your emotional body. We have gratitude. Your future self wants you to know that you need to be expressing more gratitude, and also to start some type of prayer, some type of morning ritual that requires or that includes prayer or a gratitude journal. I always talk about how much I love my gratitude journal and how beneficial it's been for me, just for me to, you know, reflect and read back when I'm in a depressive state. What I do have, because it's easy to just focus on the negative. And prayer isn't always have to be, it's not always tied to religion or about Christianity. You can also meditate here, pile 1. Your future self wants to know that you guys need to do some serious prayer work or grounding just to help you, or meditating to help you be grounded here, okay? I'm going to pull an affirmation card. I'm willing to change. And this is why your future self loves you so much. Because you've stepped out of that space of just criticizing yourself for the sake of criticizing yourself, and you stepped into, you have more balanced thoughts about who you are, and you're willing to radically accept your current situation so you can change. And your future self wants to know that all the changes that you're making right now are going to pay off. It says, I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. And last but not least, I'm going to pull some questions from your higher self here. Just for pile 1. I'm also going to pull a surrender card. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about doing the pre-shuffles where I just pull cards and then I flip them over from each deck. So I don't have to be like, ooh, I want to pull, like a kid in a candy store, I want to pull from this deck and this deck and this deck. Just so I have everything lined up and mapped out for you guys. It says, what do I keep doing? Your future self wants to ask you, what do you keep doing that keeps hurting you? And why do you keep repeating this behavior? I wish you guys can see that question. There we go. Your future self wants to know, what do you keep doing that keeps hurting? And why do you keep repeating this behavior? So hopefully that's something that you guys can journal and reflect on. Because I'm picking up that currently, pile 1, that you are in a lot of pain. And Black Obsidian is ruled by it's Plutonian energy. It's the 8th house energy. So there's something that's going on here, and your future self wants to ask you that question, and it really wants you, your future self really wants you to reflect on what negative toxic traits that you've been holding and the ways that you've been harming yourself. It's not only about, I'm picking up with this pile, a lot of people have harmed you and you've internalized that behavior, and now you've been harming yourself. I'm going to pull this last card. Oh no, I'm also going to pull from my magic box. This is a never-ending reading. I'm going to pull some surrender cards. One surrender card for pile 1 here, Spirit. From their future self. What does their future self want them to surrender? Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Sorry about that, you guys. My camera died. So these are going to be messages. These are the last messages I'm going to pull from my magic box. I'm going to shake it on camera. We'll take that one too. Okay. So it says karma. This is speaking more so to good karma than, this is good karma coming your way, pile 1. And I'm also picking up for those who harmed you. They're going to get their karma and you're going to get your karma, which is good karma. So feel good and feel happy and do the work that you need to be doing right now, okay? It says heavenly aura. Your future self is saying that your future self has a heavenly aura. And it's saying, your future self is saying to you that the aura and the way that you carry yourself, the way that you've envisioned it, is possible. We have peace. Your higher self is saying that the environment that you're moving into will be very, very peaceful and you'll have inner peace. Unresolved trauma. And this is speaking to the state that pile 1 is currently in. I'm picking up. I really truly believe that. And even the thing about trauma and the thing about healing is that it never ends. So even when you do reach the point in your life where you feel as though you're a little bit more settled, you're still going to have little remnants of unresolved trauma and just things from your past that you've been trying to heal. And that's okay. It's a process. It's a journey, okay? The last 2 messages that we have here are closing out a goal. Like I said in the beginning of the reading, it happened. It's over. You made it. You did it. And divine counterpart. I did say that, I think, comment down below if I said in the reading that pile 1, you'll be able to get into a state where your higher self is saying, or your future self is saying that you'll be able to trust people more. I think I did say something about trust, but I didn't say anything about love or a divine counterpart. So this really lets me know that pile 1, a divine counterpart, is on its way, and that your future self is in a relationship or has met some type of soulmate connection here. And that could be a romantic connection, but that could also be a friend, okay? So that's all that I had for you here, pile 1. I hope the reading resonated with you. Excuse me if it didn't. Check out pile 2 or 3. This might not be your pile, okay? Well, I hope you guys all have a really, really great and safe weekend. Peace. All right, welcome back, pile 2. You are the Malachite slab. This gives you the oracle card that I'm going to flip over. I'm going to channel some messages from. It says the lion and the deer. So pile 2, I'm picking up and channeling that your higher self really wants you to forgive yourself at this time. I'm picking up that there's a lot of people that you weren't able to distinguish who was who in the past, and that you trusted. It's not even just a trust. You were too trusting, and you gave a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, and you gave a lot of people your secrets. I'm picking up some of you guys might work in tech, or you have something with technology. Somebody might have been stalking you online. And there's also here something about things coming to justice, about your future self wants to let you know that you will be getting justice for something here. Somebody might have scammed you, somebody might have robbed you, somebody might have stolen from you, or somebody had been lying on your name, and you're going to be getting justice. I'm also picking up that you're getting some type of promotion, and that you're going to be getting a promotion or a raise. And there's something along the lines of moving to a new apartment, something with the number 7, or you're moving down the block, or you're moving down the street. And I'm also picking up from your future self that there's somebody in your inner circle right now that you absolutely do not trust at all. Or not that you don't, I'm sorry, that's so extreme. There's people in your inner circle, or people around you. I'm picking up as like a circle group, or a group of friends that you're not really sure, and you're wondering if these are the people who... There's something about a friend group here, pile 2. I'm going to keep channeling, using my intuition before I peek at the card. Peek into the book and see what's going on with this card. I'm also picking up for you, pile 2, that your future self, I'm sorry, I keep saying higher self sometimes, so correct me if I keep saying that. Just put it in the comments if I'm saying that, so I don't want people to get confused. But I'm picking up in for you, pile 2, that your future self wants you to be more forgiving towards yourself, and they want you to apologize to yourself, to your past self. They want you to do some journaling or write a letter to your past self about the ways in which you've just downplayed yourself and downplayed their power, your past self. There's a lot of beating up that was done, and you accomplished a lot. I'm picking up. You're definitely a go-getter and somebody that accomplishes a lot, but it's never enough for you, and your future self wants you to apologize to yourself. And there's something here about balancing the aggression within you. Some of you guys need to work on boundaries here. Some of you guys have really lacked boundaries before in the past, and this might be coming something to do with that friend group. Some of you guys might be a Scorpio, and you guys might have trust issues. You guys might be an evolved Scorpio here. Something with a tattletale. You might have been a tattletale as a child. I don't know what that has to do with your future self, but I'm picking up here that your spirit guides are trying to tell you something, or they're telling on you, and you're not listening. There's something with your crown chakra here, pile 2, and there's also something here with you. Something here about somebody here being two-faced in your future self. I think it has to do, I'm picking up that it has to do with something with more so authenticity when it comes to this, the lack of boundaries, and this lion and this deer. And I think I'm picking up that, pile 2, you have this fear of being mean or being bad. This fear of being mean or being bad that I'm picking up. You might have harmed people in the past, or you might perceive yourself to be a bad person, or people might have perceived you to be a bad person here, pile 2. Something about the number 7 is significant here. Your future self wants to let you know that you're not a bad person here, pile 2. That you're not a bad person. And your future self wants to let you know that everybody has the right to make wrong decisions. And you might have made bad decisions in the past, but that does not define your entire being. Not at all, pile 2. Not at all. Your future self wants to let you know that you're going to be getting a lot more sunshine and a lot more rest. Something about a bike here. You might love riding a bike, or you've always wanted to ride a bike and you're going to be biking more. I'm going to read from this card. There's a lot of turmoil here, and I'm picking up that your future self might be, this might be energy that your future self is still battling with, but has gotten to a point where it's easier for them to understand that they're not a bad person. Because I think that's what that back and forth is that I'm feeling. I'm getting this back and forth from your future self, where it's just like they're challenging core beliefs about who they are. And I think that's something that you're doing right now, but you're more so succumbing to these old beliefs and negative thought patterns. I'm gonna read the Lion. I'm hearing, don't you wish you could be free, pile 2. Your future self wants to know, is asking you, don't you wish you could be free? Let's read number 22, the Lion and the Deer. It says, hello, my old friend. Do you remember me? We are the oldest of friends. Ancient soulmates we are, acquainted over many lifetimes, passed and through many lessons, learned together in the school of love. So here we are to meet again, in this advanced spiritual training of the human experience, with the earth as our classroom. The moment is upon us to leave behind what we have once known and to open up to the great mystery of life again. Our souls leapt from the divine oneness through the river of forgetfulness and now dive into the body of life. What a journey that leap begins. Let us embark on the studious adventure together. Let us honor the tiger and the lamb within each other, the lion and the deer. I can witness in you both the raging warrior who fights with an unbreakable honor and the healer. Didn't I say there's this duality of this two and this back and forth here? Who brings together those things torn apart. For are we not all things? Are we not human, an angel, animal, and spirit? Are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? Yes, this duality. And I think that's something that you really struggle with, pile 2. I'm also picking up here, there's something, you struggle with being one of those people who, an environmentalist, but being materialistic at the same time. And there's a transformation, there's always a transformation, but there's a transformation underway. When it comes to this duality of the two, there's a split in your personality at times. And sometimes people might think that you're two different people. I'm picking up, or they just might, I don't know, I think that there's a lot to do with your social circle and people being confused, and your future self wants you to know that there's going to be a lot more integration and there's going to be a lot more understanding. Things are going to be a lot less confusing because I'm a little confused, and there's this ambiguity with this reading, and I think that there's this ambiguity right now in your life where with pile one kind of already knew where they were going and what they needed to do, and they were just laying out the plans. But pile 2, it's not necessarily that you're lost, you're just kind of confused, and I'm picking up that this confusion is coming from hurt. And your future self wants to know that a lot of things are going to be clarified for you within the next 2 to 6 months. There's going to be this huge clarity, this huge breath of fresh air here, and things, who you are and your identity and what you are and why this happened is going to start to make a little bit more sense. Here, pile 2. I'm going to keep reading. Let us embark on, are we not human and angel, animal and spirit, and are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? So here we are together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres to the preference instead of curiosity, not for the soul who craves comfort instead of devotion to divine adventure. We must be like lovers, you and I. If we are to take these lessons, we must be willing to become mad with passion. So shall we become study mates? We'll recognize each other. Pal 2, you might be new to spirituality, and you've been turning to spirituality because you've been confused about your sense of self and your self-identity, and your future self wants to let you know that there are answers here for you, not necessarily even at this channel, but you will find the answers that you're looking for, and that you've taken the step in the right direction to find what you seek. This does not necessarily have to do with financial matters or anything on this material plane. This is more so something that has to do on the spiritual plane. And Pile, I'm sorry if a loved one had passed recently, but your future self wants you to know that you will find the answers that you seek to who you are and your place on this planet. Some of you guys might have left a job recently. Some of you guys might even left a relationship recently. And some of these things were really defining you. And I'm picking up that you might be, that you're going through more so an existential crisis or a midlife crisis here, and you're just in this state of confusion and chaos. Some of you guys are saying to yourself, I'm not going to retire like this, and your future self wants to let you know that you're not, but on this path you're going to find the answers that you're looking for. I'm going to pull some sign cards here, some planet and karma cards, before I actually do some tarot. Just so I can see what kind of planetary energy and what type of house energy we're dealing here with for pile 2. This is a slab of Malachite spirit. In the 10th house. Some of your guys' jobs really defined who you are now that you lost your job. Or you quit, more so. You're looking for a new understanding of life. What is life beyond working? And your future self wants to know that you are more than your job. Your job is not your identity here. Let me get one more card. In the 12th house. Like I said, there's something with your faith, your religion, your beliefs. Not necessarily the beliefs that you have about yourself, yes, but this is getting larger, and what you believe in and what your motivation is for living here. Pull one more card in Libra. So like I said, some of you guys are having an existential crisis and trying to figure out who you mean to yourself, what your purpose is, why you came on this planet the way you are, why your family is the way you are. Some of you guys are really asking why, and are trying to make sense of things around you and in your environment. Some of you guys might work in tech and you might be thinking of shifting to psychology, but your future self wants you to know that you will find the answers that you seek. You don't have to go far for these answers either, pile 2. I'm going to pull some tarot cards and get this started. We have the Devil card here, Temperance, Five of Cups, which reflects mourning, the Emperor, Six of Cups, and Ace of Swords. I was going to say, before I even pulled the Devil card, the Devil card isn't always necessarily bad energy, but I'm picking up, it was just like this, it was kind of a deeper, darker energy that I kind of picked up on here. And pile 2, I don't know what it is that you dabble in. I don't know what it is that you do. or what you've been reading here, pile 2. But I'm picking up that spiritually, you feel as if something's stuck or attached to you here. And there are these strange things that happen and occur, and you don't know why. With the 5 of Cups here, I'm picking up that you're either mourning the loss of yourself, of your identity, or you're mourning the loss of somebody that you knew, or who you used to be, or a place, a home. With the Temperance card, you're trying to figure out now what fills up my cup, what gives me life, and you're really thinking to yourself. Pile 2, your future self wants you to look into your heritage, and it wants you to look into your background. Because I'm picking up that you have very strong and serious ancestors and spirit guides here, pile 2. Your future self wants you to know that you are divinely guided. Some of you guys might be practicing or might be looking into things here. But there's something here, and your future self wants you to watch out for something. Your future self wants you to watch out for something here. I'm going to pull some cards here. There's a powerful energy and a powerful force that I'm picking up on right now for pile 2. I'm going to pull some more cards out before I close out this reading. 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and Page of Pentacles in reverse. And Queen of Wands in reverse. Some of you guys might, your future self wants you to watch out what you think about other people. So I'm picking up that you are very spiritually powerful here, pile 2. And I did say something about your crown chakra and also your root chakra here. And with the 10 of Cups, here, I'm sorry, I'm picking up on a lot of energy here for you, pile 2. I'm really picking up that you have a very strong spirit team and that you're divinely guided here. But I'm going to go ahead and pull a question card for you. What your future self wants to ask you here. Your future self wants to ask you, who intimidates you and why do they intimidate you? Why do they scare you? Because there's this energy shifting around me right now, and it's very strong here. I'm going to pull an affirmation card. It's a mantra from their future self for pile 2. As I say yes to life, life says yes to me. Life mirrors my every thought. As I keep my thoughts positive, life brings positive thoughts and only good experiences to me. I'm going to pull some love activation cards. Compassion. Your future self wants you to have more compassion for yourself. Patience. Your future self wants you to be more patient. and trust. Like I said in the beginning, there's something about trust here. I'm going to pull a surrender card for you. What does pile 2's future self want them to surrender at this time? Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to Spirit. Doing so will help bring clarity or even solve the problem. I did say that you're going to have this sense of clarity. I'm going to pull some messages from my magic box for pile 2. Renewed faith. Like I said, there's something about your faith and about your spirituality here that you've been asking questions about, pile 2. And your future self wants you to know that you will find the answers. Unresolved trauma, pile 2. You guys need to do some shadow work and go to therapy. I suggest everybody goes to therapy. But pile 2, your future self wants you to know that you need to go to therapy. And what you've lost. There's something that you've lost here, and I think that you're going to be able to find it again. Whether it's a loss of life or hope or the will to live, whatever it's been, you'll be able to find it again. Those were all the messages that I had for you, pile 2. I hope the reading resonated with you. If it did, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And if it didn't, check out pile 1 or pile 3. Those might have been your piles, okay? You guys have a great day. Peace. Alright, welcome back, pile 3. You are the Rainbow Moonstone. And as I was gearing up, I heard a lot of different music playing in my head. Shine Bright Like a Diamond by Rihanna, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. And I got this message that your future self wants you to wield your words as a sword and carve your way out of the situation that you're currently in right now. I'm picking up that this is the pile of all of my creatives, and more so the very lighthearted, playful, carefree, light worker creatives in this pile right here. Just because I just have such a light energy to me right now, and I'm picking up that some of you guys might have strong Piscean energy or Neptunian placements in your, or Neptune placements rather, I'm sorry, in your chart, or Leo. You guys are definitely very, very playful here, and your future self wants you to know that there's nothing wrong with that attitude, and don't let yourself grow up too fast here. And there was a message that I heard, don't stop writing, keep on writing. Do those morning pages. Some of you guys might have read The Artist's Way or have heard about it and want to do it. You should do it. There's something about your writing skills here. Some of you guys might be trying to publish a book of poetry, and your future self wants you to know that that's all possible, and that you in the future it's going to be a successful. I'm hearing maybe kids poetry or kids book, something with mental health here as well, something with kids and art here. I don't know, something I heard, playground, kid in a castle, kid in a sandbox. Some of you guys have really been doing some inner child work, some inner child healing here. Some of you guys are just reconnecting. There's something here about writing for you here, pile 3. And something about this being like a struggling artist, and your future self wants you to know that you don't have to be a struggling artist at all. That I think this pile, a lot of you guys are poets, or you might write books, novels, screenplays. Some of you guys might even write manuals for a living, but always wanted to write a children's book. I'm gonna flip over the card and see the oracle card for you. And it's number 6, which is 1. So pile 3, I'm picking up that your future self wants you to look at what you do, the work that you do, as being an aspect of spirituality. Your creativity. Creativity is very spiritual here. Even if you guys are musicians, any type of artist, you're tapped in to a higher source, to a higher power. And some of you guys might not see the links between your spirituality and your creativity, or your spirituality and your work, but your future self wants you to know that in the future it's not going to be separate, and that you shouldn't separate those two, because there's a lot that you can gain creatively from using your spirituality and using your intuition and using your higher gifts here. And just honoring pile 3, your future self wants you to really honor. Your future self wants you to honor what you do, and wants you to view your art as sacred. Because in the future, I'm picking up that you've tapped into a source of creativity, and that a lot of people are going to be paying more attention to you in the future. And this is in the next 2 to 6 months here. In the future, a lot more people are going to be paying attention to you because of your creative gifts and because of your creative talents. But you might be one of those people that brushes it off and is like, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that serious. But it is that serious, because you're really, really talented. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry about that. My cat and my sister were just, she's still laughing over there, causing a ruckus. But we're going to get into, kind of broke my train of thought, but we're going to get into the 1. And I'm picking up that what it really is all about is that spirit and the divine is pouring into you creatively here. And they want you to open up and realize that you are not separate from your creativity, and you're not separate from your art. It says, like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and of a divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey. Like I said, your creativity and your art is not separate from your spirituality. And there is no aspect of you that is not of the divine origin. So then why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper it into your heart now. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in the store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may appear to be, or despairing you may feel, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of your existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded, every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore nothing shall be left unaccounted for, and not even that which seems to be outside divine intention and grace at this moment. You must remember that you are a living heart, the dweller at the center between heaven and her earth. I was going to say hearth, which is still a thing. Star and soil, light and dark. If you cannot summon the joy to rise up and meet the divine beloved, fear not. That cunning lover lies deep within the depths, waiting to gather you into sacred embrace as you descend into darkness. Either through flying or through falling, you shall not be caught and tangled up in divine embrace. So fear not. Cast aside worry and concern. Know that you are thoroughly itemized on the divine ledger, and not one moment of your struggle or suffering shall miss the hawk-like gaze of the ever-attentive and heavenly beloved. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is friction or conflict within you or your life right now, a sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you chose the path and it turns out the other would have been better. But how can you know now that choice, if any, is most needed in your life? So many questions. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes. You shall manifest your destiny just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are, and as you accept this, life responds. It breathes and relaxes around you so that you can come to you more. So you need to come to you more easily. So do not fret and fear, my beloved. Do not hold back from that which feels incomplete out of anxiety or distress. It is just the lover that will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing the moment before this occurs. So fret not. If there is any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, sorry, this can be so wordy sometimes. Between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this, even the conflict serves. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to start with some karma cards here, but this is definitely speaking to the energy of do I create and be supported by my creativity, or do I create and be supported by my creativity, or do I, keep my job of writing manuals instead of writing the book that I've always wanted to write? And your future self wants you to know that there's going to be an answer to this coming very, very soon. I'm going to pull some karma cards here for my pile 3, the Rainbow Moonstone, message from their future self. And Leo, didn't I say y'all had some Leo energy here? In the 6th house, coming to work. And Jupiter, expansion. So your guys' your future self wants you to know that your beliefs, the thoughts that you've been having on work and labor are changing. You might have been drawn to pile 2, so there might be some messages in there for pile 2. Because pile 2 had some messages on labor as well and just working. And was it pile 2 or pile 1? One of those 2 piles had that. But if you've been in this rut creatively, your future self wants you to know that your creativity is going to expand and you're going to be able to do what you love and love what you do completely. And it's not going to feel like a job anymore. There's not going to be this back and forth, and there's not going to be this confusion, okay? I'm going to start pulling some tarot here for my pile 3 spirit. Messages from their future self. Ooh. We have Page of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. Page of Cups. If we got all pages here, and I would just... Nice. Nice. Beautiful pile 3. We got 10 of Wands in reverse. We got 5 of Wands, and we got the Lovers card here. Like I was saying, there's going to be a balance of emotions here, especially with the Page of Cups. And your emotions are what really drive you. And your future self is saying that you're going to be able to take action. You're going to be able to take action. You're going to really be able to love what you do. And the responsibilities and the burdens that are on you right now are falling away. And the conflict is not going to exist any longer, because we have the Lovers card here. I'm going to pull one more card from this oracle, from this tarot deck. The Rider-Waite tarot deck for Spirit, please. Messages from pile 3's future self. Sorry if this is seeming a little bit haphazard. Sometimes I get tongue-tied. So, and we got the Magician. Like I said, wield your words as a sword and carve your way out of the situation that you're currently in. Some of you guys here really, I don't know why I'm hearing that you guys love pigs. Somebody, this resonates for somebody. Somebody here really loves baby pigs. You might have written a story about pigs, a children's books about pigs, but you love pigs here. Strange, yes, I know, but you might want a baby pig. Your future self might be saying, hey, we're getting that baby pig. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? That's for somebody in this pile here. Okay? Your future self wants you to know that you're more powerful than you think, and that you have the ability to go all the way with this if you want to. Your future self really wants you to know. And there's something here about car troubles. If you've been having car troubles, don't worry about your car anymore. Or if you were in an accident, insurance is paying for something and the other person, it was all fault. Insurance is paying for something here. And your future self is also saying to you that you're going to be able to meet, you might have met your significant other, or you will be meeting your significant other at a convention or a workshop, something with writing here. You usually don't date people in the same field as you, but there's something about this person that you're just ultimately drawn to. Pile 3. Some of you guys might have dropped out of school recently. Maybe you want to go back to school. Some of you guys might have been writing majors here. It was just, for some of you guys, it was probably just too tough for you, and you just couldn't do it anymore. But your future self wants you to know that you have a natural affinity for written and spoken word. And if you feel as though, like I said, you're somebody that just brushes off your talent, your future self wants you to really know that if you really put some elbow grease in here, a lot of people care about what you have to say here. You have a very powerful solar plexus and throat chakra here. Pile 3. Some of you guys might have some type of disorder here. Something with your nerves. You guys might have carpal tunnel from writing. Some of you guys might have to be a caretaker. You might be disabled, or you might be a caretaker for somebody who's disabled, and you might feel as though that's interfering with your dreams. Your future self wants you to know that if you lay out a solid foundation, that it's possible. Okay, I'm going to pull from my Celtic Heart Tarot deck. But the conflict is being resolved very soon, pile 3. Ooh. You got 4 of Cups, 7 of Wands, the insecurity, the doubt being released. We have Ace of Pentacles. Your future self wants you to look at your money situation. Some of you guys have been spending your money very, very lavishly, which is, you might be planning something really big in the next upcoming month or 2 or 3, and you're thinking, you have a lot of anxiety because you feel like though you don't have money for it. And your future self wants you to, 9 of Swords, yeah, you have a lot of anxiety around your money right now. And your future self wants you to know, 9 of Cups, ooh, I don't want to have to say this to you, but I think these cards all might be upside down. I'm like, this is upside down, this is upside down. But your future self, and the Death card in reverse, your future self wants you to know, we also got 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, and the Justice card, and 8 of Wands. That kind of just flew out there. So I'm going to organize that because it gives me a better idea than all these cards that are just sometimes come out reversed with this deck. So this is how I'm going to place it, like this. Okay. Like I said about that happy-go-lucky attitude that at the beginning, you need to be a lot more balanced when it comes to your money, because I mean, you're anxious for a real reason, and it's not something that you can just, you know, wish away or manifest away. Is money going to be able to come in? Yes, but only if you take heed and be more mindful of how you're spending your money here, Pile 3. I'm hearing that you've blown through some money. This is just, it's just wild. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude or mean, but it's just kind of wild here. The energy I'm picking up, and I'm kind of confused as to how that money went the way that it did. But the good news, and I'm sorry, and if you, I'm so sorry, Pile 3. With the Death card in reverse, it's just like, if you don't, like, you really, like, whatever you're planning to do, if you don't get your money situation situated, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. And that's just that on that. You know what I mean? But money is coming in. There's an opportunity for you to either work for somebody or get some award. Some of you guys might be part-time, you might work part-time, or you might be unemployed right now. But there is an opportunity for you to have some type of source of income, and possibly from your work. But let's pull some more messages from your future self here. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to be rude. 8 of Stones, Ace of Arrows, 4 of Vessels, 7 of Arrows, 4 of Stones, and Queen of Vessels. Okay. So I already said this before about your skill level and how your skill would be able to take you to where you need to go. There's just a lot of, like I said, insecurity and self-doubt and just overall boredom. And you just don't really, I'm picking up with this pile, you just don't really know what you want. And your future self wants you to know that that's kind of okay right now. That's fine. You know what I mean? If you're not in a position where you are facing homelessness or going to be without food or just going to be experiencing serious financial loss and insecurity, and just you're in survival mode, then that's okay. It's okay to take a deep breath and not know about what you want, about who you are, and about where you want to go. That's totally okay. I'm going to pull a question card for you first, Pile 3. I'm going to pull a question card for my Pile 3, a question from their future self. This is a question their future self wants to ask them right now. It says, what is an important boundary you want to set with someone in your life? And why haven't you set it already? This could be with a family, but I'm picking up that this is with yourself here, Pile 3. And it says, what do you keep doing that keeps hurting, and why do you keep repeating this behavior? I'm also picking up that this is coming from that this is self-sabotage more so, and that there's something about self-worth and self-confidence where you just don't think that you're deserving of the things that you want, which is really, really sad. But your future self wants you to know that, has a question like wants to know why you think you don't deserve happiness or joy or love. Some of you guys might have like serious anxiety, or just be somebody that ruminates a lot and gets stuck in their head. And your future self just wants to know why. This reading isn't as wild and crazy as the other two readings, and it's kind of turning a little sad because I'm picking up on a lot of just self-esteem issues here with you, Pile 3. And your future self wants you to know that in order for anything in your life to turn out the way that you want it to, you have to want it for yourself, and you have to believe that you deserve those things. Or you're always going to be unhappy, and you're always going to be questioning things. Do people who feel as though they're undeserving get things? Yeah, they do. But the level of undeserving that I'm picking up here, or the level of just like lack of self-respect and just self-esteem, is really, really heartbreaking. It's really saddening to see, because Pile 3, you guys are really, really beautiful. You guys are just simple, beautiful, simple people. And you don't have to be that person that is super cool or super fancy or has a lot going on. But I can pick up that you're a good friend. And that a lot of people love and care about you. And if people knew the type of confidence issues that you've been dealing with, they would compliment you and big you up all the time. But would you believe them? Or would you just feel like they feel sorry for you, or that they're pitying you? I'm picking up that you feel a lot of times that people are pitying you. And that's not the case. Nobody hangs out with you because they feel bad for you, pile 3. People hang out with you and they show you love because they love you. I'm going to pull an affirmation card here. An affirmation from their future self for pile 3. It says, I release all fears and doubts. I now choose to free myself from all self-destructive fears and doubts. I accept myself and create peace in my mind and heart. I am loved and I am safe. Okay? I'm going to pull some love activation cards here. Some love messages from their future self. For my pile 3, the Rainbow Moonstone. We have willingness. You are willing to compromise if the end result is love. You have to be more willing to build a better connection with yourself, your pile 3, and that's what your future self wants you to understand, that things are going to change, but the change that you're looking for, you need to do a lot more internal work and work on and just self-esteem work and self-confidence work and self-love work. That's the type of work that you need to be doing here. It says past. Through the past of love, you release any stagnant situations of energy in order to transform your heart space. Some of you guys might be really haunted by your past, or who you were in your past, maybe your past appearance, how you engage with people in the past. And you can't change your past. You can change your present, which lays the foundation for your future, but you can't change your past, pile 3. And people don't see you. People don't see you as the person in the past, who you were in the past. People see you for the present day person that you are. And you have to believe that, though. There's a serious self-doubt and this lack of trusting other people's word, and just feeling as though you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough. And it's really disheartening. It says discernment. You are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. Like I said, people aren't pitying you. People really, really love you, and your future self wants you to know that. And your future self is saying to you, because they have this support system, this network of love. And it's true and it's genuine. It's like, all these things are happening and they're coming for you. But they want you to stop this madness. Surrender card for pile 3. This fell into my lap. It says surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. Okay? And last but not least here, pile 3, I'm going to pull some messages from my magic box. I forgot to say this in the other readings, but if you have headphones in, please, 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 please lower the volume, because it can get very, very loud, okay? Some messages for pile 3 from their future self. Okay. I'll get a couple more. Show pile 3 some